first time that we... Comincio? Dimmi tu quando e io vado. So this is the first time when we tried this kind of experiment. During the Lorenzo Piano exhibition, we organized some of the partner or associate of the Lorenzo Piano Building Workshop make a little presentation about the project that are presented in this room. The idea is to give a little bit more of a deducted view to this exhibition. And so this is the first one. My name is Giorgio Bianchi, and I'm working with Lorenzo Piano. I'm one of the partners, and the partner in charge of this project in Athens. I will tell you very soon what it is. Today I will talk about this project, which is the Niarchos Cultural Center in Athens, and the Morgan Library. The Morgan Library was another project where I was in charge of. So I was a partner in charge of the Morgan Library. So we started with this project. With me is Deborah Nevins, that work on the landscape of this project, which is much more than a landscape, I can say. And so we can go through also this kind of issue, because in this specific project, the idea of having a park, a big park, it was a big deal. And so why we needed the precious help of that. So the project is intent to build. It is under construction actually. The National Library of Greece and the National Opera House of Greece. The two buildings are together more or less 100,000 square meters. That if we translate in square feet, the equivalent of more or less 1 million square feet of built area. The project is completely donated by the generosity of the Stavros Niarchos Foundation, who decide that the Stavros Niarchos Foundation make donation about many things, school for children, many other activities like this. But there was this decision made by Mr. Stavros Niarchos, that died in '96, if I'm not wrong, that the biggest donation had to be given to the state of Greece, and for purposes that were related to public interest. And so because in Athens and in Greece, there are two things that are missing. One is completely missing. It is an opera house, a theater where you can play opera, a theater where you can have a production that arrive from everywhere in the world. And the second is a library, a national library that works properly. There is a national library in Athens, but it's not the best building in the world. They don't have the right way to store the rare books that they own, and all this kind of thing. They don't have a reading room, proper reading room for people going to read. So there is they need to improve this kind of activity. So the idea was to create this cultural center, and which is called Stavros Niarchos Cultural Center. So in order to do this, they made a contract with the state of Greece, and the state of Greece gave to them a piece of land. This piece of land you can see in this picture here. Okay, it was a former horse race place that was transferred in 2004 in a huge car parking for the Olympic facilities that they built just close to the sea. Our site is very, very close to the sea. We are more or less 200 meters away from the sea. But unfortunately, because the structure of Athens, from the site you cannot see the sea. Even if this site is located in an area of Athens which is called Kalitea, which translated in English means nice view. But the nice view doesn't exist. So the Niarchos Foundation did a master plan in 2005, 2006, and they understood it was possible to in this piece of land to build two buildings for about 100,000 square meters, 1 million square feet, and a big park. The master plan was done by an American firm called Cooper Robertson. They are based in New York. And after that, they decided to make a consultation among different architects. They started from 20 architects, they went down to 8, and finally the selection was related to 3 architectural offices. And we got the project. So it was not a competition, but was really a selection based on the fact that the client went to visit what we have done in the past, or the building, the offices, etc. And so one day in 2008, we started to make this project with a concept design, a feasibility study, and then we started to schematic design, detail design, blah, 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 and now we are on site. We are building. Right now they are building. So the project is going on. And this is an important thing for Greece, because you know that Greece in this moment is not in the most fantastic economical situation, but this project brings to Greece a lot of energy work, people working, a lot of energy in this site that is good for the country. So everybody likes the idea of having this that is going on. Going back to the project, you can see from this little sketch that shows that this is a sketch made by Giorgio Bianchi, and since the beginning, the first meeting we had with our future client, the idea was quite clear. We need to we said we need to make a building which is probably not a building, but is a movement of the earth, where you have altogether the opera, the library, and a big park that they needed to merge together. And this straight line that you see in the little sketch represents the very embryonal idea of what is suspended over you, which is a solar capture that can produce the necessary electricity in order for the building to work without the plug into the network. So why this? Because we are in Greece, because in Greece we have sun, we have wind, and the idea was from the beginning to deliver a building that was able to be a little bit a green building, if you want, and actually we are looking to have the LEED platinum for the building itself, and maybe we can get it. So, but now, how to put everything together, how to transform this little sketch in something that it can work. We made many sketches at the beginning. You can see from this little model that there's always this idea of a hill that is generated by the movement of the earth. I remind you that this was completely flat. And so we started to understand where was the location of this hill that then you carve in some way, and in which you can introduce the two functions of the library and the opera together, all together linked with the park. And so we started to understand how. And one day we understood that the best way, in order to respond to this criteria that we are very close to the sea, but we don't see the sea, and we want to see the sea at the highland in front. When you raise, when you go up in the building, there is an hospital here, and the top part is more or less 35 meter, which is 100 feet more or less. And when you are there, you see the sea, you see the Aegean Sea, you see the island of Hydra in front of you. So you see what the Greece is. While if you are here, you see a highway, you see a bridge, you see something like that. So the idea was very, very simple. If you give me one of the we decided one day that maybe the best way to do this was to say this is the land, okay, and if I do this, I generate the movement of the earth, and this becomes my new site. So I go from 0 to more or less 35 meters, 100 feet, at the very top of the hill, and I can have a park which is connected with the city, going toward the sea. And so when you walk into the park, you reach the edge, what we call the edge of our cliff, and you see the Mediterranean Sea, the Aegean Sea, the island in front of you. And so this model represents very, very well the idea of what we have done. You see the movement of the earth start. You can also see from the drawing there, or from the sketch here, the movement is like this. All this is an infill, is a hill that we are building physically at this very moment. There are pictures in the booklet that show that we are already at 10 meters high, maybe 18 now, because of that. The picture was 3 weeks ago. And so all this is just an infill. We put earth, we how do you say? We compact, and then from this line up to the 32 meter, we build. So in this area we have a green roof which cover the library, and the roof covering the opera. And on this side we have a car parking, because it was one of the requirements that was needed, because if you build X number of square meter, you need to put X number of car parking. And so even the car parking is something that will be not visible, but because it will be under the park. All this became a kind of a big hill surrounded by hedges made of concrete. So we are really surrounded by a cliff. So when you are here, you are at the edge of the cliff, and you see below or far away the sea. So one day when the building will be finished, and you will go on Google Earth, instead of seeing a building, and you will see a big park, and we see this square solar capture that you can see from this model, or the model at top of you, that there will be covered of is a 100 meter by 100 meter, which is 300.
The football field length.
Yes, it's the length of the football field. It's completely covered with photovoltaic panel, and it can produce 1.5 megawatt. With this 1.5 megawatt, we can have the building working without being plugged into the network. But when we make an opera, you need to plug, because they need much more power, because the lighting, because the sound, and everything else. So this is the principle of the project. All the project is based on this movement of the Earth. Debbie will be more clear about the park. I will leave all the park part to her. But you see that there is a long canal. This long canal, which is 400 meters long by 30, so it's 1,200 feet long by 120, represent the idea that one time the water was in this area that was called the Faliro Harbor before the classic era of the ancient Greece. The building is composed of two parts. They are merged together. You see on the north part in this model where Lorenzo is, we have the library. On this side, you see the opera house. Is a theater for 1,400 people, with an addition of another theater for 450 people for experimental program and things like that. The opera is a very classic opera house, in the sense of the shape, in the sense of it's very similar to an Italian theater, so it's a horseshoe shape with 4 balcony and a stall for a total number of 1,400 seats. That seems today to be the ideal number of seats in order to run in a proper way an opera house. The library is not gigantic, it's not huge. It's based also to the dimension of Greece. You must know that Greece has 10 million inhabitants in total, more or less, and the half lives in Paris. So Brooklyn probably is bigger than the entire Greece in terms of people, and so everything is also proportion to the size of the country. The idea for this library is that this library will be a state library, so with all the characteristics of a state library, so research library and everything else. But we want to develop a new concept, which is develop more and more, and as much as possible, the public part of the state library. So this part which is open to everybody, and because the need in Greece is to bring people into library, to bring people to use a library, because they don't at the moment, unless they don't they use a lot of the library related to the university, but there is no I don't know, they don't have this cultural
taking a book out
to go to the National Library. So if we create a big part of this library, which is public, where you can go, but you have an activity, which is very similar to what is going on here in New York with the New York Public Library. When you go, you are free to go to pick up your book, or go home, or read there. But you have also other kind of activity for children, for adults, for people that needs to be trained in order how to open a business. If you go to the New York Library on Madison Avenue, they have a branch that can teach you how to open a business. And so all this kind of thing they don't have, and we want to improve. So we work together with the British Library, we work together with a lot of consultants in order to put together the most, let's say, modern library you can make today, when the books are not used so much, when everything is done via internet, with a tablet, with a computer and everything else. So there is a lot of invention to make in order to make the library of the 21st century. Going back to the library, there is an idea that you can see in this model. This is the solar capture that, as I told you, will be covered by photovoltaic panel. And you see this space on the top. This is a space which is quite big. It's 10,000 square meters, or 10,000 square feet, which is a kind we call the lighthouse, because this is it will be the main reading room of our new library. It is a space where you can go with your book. It's connected to the library, and you have this view 360 degrees around the Athens, the sea, and everything. And we thought that was a very important part of the project, because a project like this, with function like this, needs to have a place that is the place that everybody can have in mind once he goes to the established Niarchos Cultural Center, because it's a place to go, it's a place to meet. So the idea, it could be the reading room of the library, it could be a place where you can make a conference, symposium, etc., etc. We can go in detail in all the detail how the building works, but we stay here for 3 days. An important thing is that you can see in this model the two where the hill that start from zero goes till the 100 feet. At a certain moment is carved, and inside you have the two carved in bracket. I mean, of course it's built, but the idea is like if we carve in a hill, and we generated this piazza that, because we are in Greece, we call agora, which is more Greek than piazza, and this space relate the two functions together so that they can talk together. So it is really a cultural center. It's not function A, function B, but the two meld together in order to work as a unique system. And as you can see, we have a huge park. This park is 170,000 square meters, which is in square feet, I don't know, but
40 acres.
40 acres. And as for who knows Paris, has the same size of Le Jardin du Luxembourg, which is a big garden in Paris. And so that's why we needed the help of a good landscape designer. She doesn't like that they call landscape designer, but she is. I'm sorry. My colleague, they have to call me now. Okay. Sorry about that. I forgot to
started to talk about
and
that
so
part.
with the help of Debbie, we needed to find out how to make this park a place to go. The park is, as per the opera, the library, the park is one of the main destinations, and the third most important function that we have here. So the park has to have things that don't exist in Athens today, in the park of Athens. But I leave the word to Debbie. Debbie, if you come here,
Grab the microphone.
works.
Well, one of the other ideas of the park, too, is probably the first large park in Europe that is specifically focused on using Mediterranean drought-tolerant plants. So we have the ecology of the solar panel, which will generate electricity, and we also being very green and ecological in a sense of choosing the right plants for the right place. So, in fact, many of the plants which are Greek that we're using aren't used a lot in Greece. So we had to find the mother plants to propagate plants. There'll be about 100,000 shrubs and 1,200 to 1,400, can't remember the number, trees, which includes all the trees on the Esplanade. And of course, one of the important things is to provide shade in Greece, because it's so hot many months of the year. So that's one of the reasons you see a tight spacing of trees, so that people can... And
you should say what is the Esplanade, because I don't know.
Well, originally, and you can see in some of these photographs, the Esplanade leads people, mainly pedestrian use, from the city, the north part of the city, up over these spaghetti of highways, and you can actually come right to the sea at the end.
It was built during the Olympics in order to connect the city with the Olympics facilities. It actually is a pedestrian bridge, but it's a very bad dust.
Well, right now, if you were to go there now, this is what it looks like. It's flat at the front, and then it goes zoop, up. That's it. And Renzo had the idea, well, this is really ugly, so let's do another catenary curve, and we're changing the structure of the Esplanade, mainly adding soil as you come up here. You can see it in some of the drawings. And then I had the idea of, well, how are you going to get from here to there? Right now it's all blocked. So we designed together a series of steps that also take the curve. So there are fewer steps here and more steps as you get to the top. It's about...
sorry to interrupt you, Debbie. Yes. But in the contract with the state, it was written that the Esplanade is, even if it's out of the boundary that the state gave to the Niarchos in order to build the project, must be included in the redesign of the area. And that was quite a challenge. And so that's why the Esplanade, the park, the canal, it becomes one unicum.
And eventually we all designed what we call the municipal park. It's a public park, playground, soccer field, swimming pool to the left, but that wasn't originally part of the design. So the main key feature and exceptional quality of this park, we hope, is using these Mediterranean, drought-tolerant Greek plants. We have at the lower end, which is pretty flat, alleys of trees that people will sit under. We're doing a splash pool at that end there, which also has built-in seating around it so that it has a double function. In the winter, when there's no water splashing for kids to play in, you could have concerts there. Then we have a great playground in this area with fantastic play equipment by a German company called Richter Spielgerade. And some of that equipment is here in the Brooklyn Bridge Park also, by the way. And then at the top here, this is a labyrinth, which is not a maze, by the way. There's a difference. A labyrinth, you walk and follow a path. A maze you get lost in, usually, and has tall hedges and so forth. But this is totally flat on the ground. It also has seating around it, so it too can be used for a performance, a small, intimate performance. And likewise, this is the only flat open space or semi-flat open space, that bit of green park, with stairs above it, and you can have big theater performances here with a stage there, and then people can watch the movie, or they
and
often
it's
have
the only
movies.
lawn that we have in the park, because the grass is not good in Greece, because they need a lot of water.
Yeah.
It is a lot of water, so we really limited the amount of lawn and grass in this area in order to have a space where people can go hang out, look at the movie, it's nice, stay there, enjoy. And we have also a lot of shadow because we are in Greece. Today here is very hot, but in there it's much hotter in the summer. So
often 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Yeah.
But it's a very dry climate usually, and people leave very late at night. So there is all this thing that has to be also invented in the park. A park that they don't have at the moment. They have this park close to the Palais Royal, no? But it's not a nice place. It's a very big tree.
It's actually a little scary.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't go there alone. Whereas I go to Central Park alone because it's very dense. You can't see who's around the corner. Another point I just want to make is that this whole landscaping and canal and all the stairs that come up to it, no cars are allowed. So people can walk around the canal and hang out there, and there are benches, so it can be another really great gathering space.
So this is someone, we often receive this criticism about the park. Looks like conventional. Yeah, maybe, but in a city that doesn't have a public park, you want to have a park with give you all the opportunities to go, to stay, to sit, to be in the shadow, to play with water, to have a drink, and so that's why, and also all this pathway. Why they're all like that? Because the hill is generated by that we mentioned, the idea of this catenary. It's not a slope, a unique slope, but it's a slope that is really doing this. It becomes deeper and deeper when you go up. And so there are parts that are good for the handicap people or wheelchair, and there are parts that are not. So the idea of making all this little vein that cuts the park in all the directions is because you can go straight if you can walk.
That's right.
But you can also do this. And so you can enjoy it in a different way. And all this is done at the end. At the end of the story, you reach the very, very top. And the very, very top gives you this view of the infinite, of the sea, of the island.
But the other interesting, I want to make one or two other points. I've been up on the hill now that it's being built. And when you get there from the other end of the park, the entire climate changes. It's very cool. And it's already starting to be windy and wonderfully cool. It's much cooler than down below. And we knew this would happen from studies that Arab made of the wind and so forth. And the second thing is that actually it's a very modern park because it's handicapped accessible. It's using plants that are native to Greece and the Mediterranean and drought tolerant. And it's so it really has its essence in what we think of today as green and considerate of the earth. Let's put it that way.
So this is what we are doing. We are building this. Show you where we are. I will be there in 2 weeks. Debbie is leaving tomorrow to go to pick up trees and to plant trees here and there. We have this part of the park which is already finished because this is another part of the generosity of the Niarchos Foundation that decided to devote this piece of land to the city of Calisthea in order to give to the kids of the neighbor a playground, a football field, soccer field, and a swimming pool, an Olympic swimming pool. And this will be open now.
Yeah.
And is already planted. You find all the trees. And the amazing thing is that all around in this area is a
lower middle class area. You see that everybody has repainted the houses, repainted the building, restored the building because I think that it is quite normal for them to say, okay, with what is going on here, the area will change. So I think this project at the moment represents a big hope for this country, which is a great country, and I think it needs to something like that. So this is what we are doing. If you have any questions, we are happy to answer to you.
I'm sort of curious about the heat from all the solar panels, and
Sorry?
I see that it's the heat from the solar panels. I'm curious about how you're sort of mitigating all the heat that's generated by the creation of the energy there.
The heat, the heat of the solar part. The solar capture is flying at 150 feet above ground. It's completely in the air.
And it's not enclosed, right?
No. No, I cannot.
There it is.
You have another one there. The panels are on the top. They are in the air. And so they are completely open. So there is no heat generated. We have some heat generated by the transformer.
Right.
But this will be in a very limited area inside of this kind of whale that we generate. It is a very controlled area that is ventilated with the natural ventilation. There is not climate. One important thing, this thing is made of a material that is a very old material, but is not in use since many, many years. It's made of ferrous cement. I don't know who you know what it is, a ferrous cement. The ferrous cement is a membrane made of steel and concrete. And this membrane is made of a net, very, very dense net, of 3 or 4 layers of steel that then you fill with a very fluid concrete. It becomes very, very strong and very, very light. And it was one material used a lot by Pierluigi Nervi, the Italian structural engineer that made all this strength thing. And it was used also to make boats. For us at the office, it's not the first time that we use. The leaves of the Menil collection behind you are made of ferrous cement and were made 26 years ago. Nobody has never done such big structure in ferrous cement, because 100 meter by 100 meter is a big, big thing. So it was a big challenge. Everybody was scared about this idea, but it's proved that it's buildable, is there. We are making the mock-up. The first mock-up will be this little ferrous cement roof for the park building, and then we will do the other one for the other building there. But it's proved, it works. And why the idea of using that? Because this piece, that is a kind of a bone flying over the park, has to remain forever. If you use other material like aluminum, steel, it will become full of joints, full of screws, full of things like that. But after a few years, maybe less, because we are so close to the sea, they will need a lot of maintenance. The ferrous cement is at the end it's like to make a stone. And so the only thing that you will need to do, probably every 20 years, to repaint, as you paint a boat. And so this is what we are doing, and I think that will be a unique piece, this flying carpet over the park of us.
I'm interested that in the model it's flat, because in fact it's not flat.
No, it's not flat.
It's going to be curved. But isn't the model flat?
Nobody has to do this. It's the shape. It goes from less than a foot in this location to 3 meters in the center.
Oh, really? 3
Yeah.
meters?
So it's a kind of obsolescencia, I would say obsolescencia.
It's 3 meters. 3 meters.
Yeah.
Bones of a squid.
Yeah. And
Because what?
Sepia squid.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, bones.
but it's much bigger.
Yeah.
And
Of a skeleton, of a whale.
And so you see it's very, very sharp at the end. This is a 150 model, and this is 1 to 100 scale model. So this is 50 times smaller than the
What is this?
The spine is just an antenna. The antenna is we like. But in this specific case, also our clients wanted to have an antenna. Why they wanted to have an antenna? Because in Greece, the idea of touching the sky with something that is going up is very important. It's like to to touch with the sky with the figure is related to some also to the Christian religion, and so it was very important for everybody to have it. And this antenna is made of a material that will slightly move with the wind. Not very much, but it's a very, very elastic material, and you could see the movement of the wind. So we will do exactly this or this, following the direction of the wind. But there is no need in it, but it's a sign. It's something that you want to see from a distance. Now I try to put that without destroying everything, I hope. Okay. So you guys that you are in charge of the exhibition, please don't do this. Okay. Any other questions? Fine? Good? It's supposed to be finished at the end of 2015 as building, and then they will need many months in order to move all the archives inside to start to operate the opera. The opera is a very, very complicated machine, and so probably at the moment we are not late. So even if it's finished at the end of 2015, I don't think that it will be operational till maybe middle of 2015 or something like that. Because just to move the books and fumigate, restore, repair will take a long time. Okay. If you want, I can say some word at the Morgan Library. If you don't have the time, we will do this another time. It's up to you.
Yes, go. Yes.